Hello my friends, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about another best of insert makeup product, continuing with this series of the best of. And today's video, as you can tell from the title, we are going to be talking about powder blushes. I did a video on my top cream blushes not too long ago. I'll link it somewhere here in the cards and in the description box for you if you want to go check it out. But I did get some requests for the powder version, so we're going to be doing that today. So I went ahead and pulled 3 powder blushes in the high-end category, as well as 3 powder blushes in the drugstore or more affordable category for you guys. And I think we're going to start off with the high-end. And with the high-end powder blushes, there are very many that I really do love, but I really try to narrow it down to the top 3, or the 3 that I have used the most. And I have one bonus item for you guys, but we'll get to that in a minute. So starting off with this blush right here, this is the multi-dimensional blush from LC Cosmetics. You guys have heard me talk about LC Cosmetics multiple times on my channel. It shouldn't be news that I am a huge fan of a lot of LC Cosmetics products. They are just so good. This product released, I want to say maybe 2 years ago, as part of their summer collection, and they came out with 2 blushes, the Coral Reef shade, and I believe the other one was Pink Flamingo. And this is the product on the inside. I really love how they do the marbling effect of different shades, so you can mix and match. They do this same type of marbling with their pressed powder, which is also a favorite of mine. And I'll go ahead and do a little swatch for you. So there you can see it on my pointer finger. It's giving us that kind of corally orange tone. Hopefully you guys can see that. This guy retails for around, I want to say around $32 to $34, but if I'm not mistaken, it's currently on sale on their website for around 50% off. So I think it's around $14. So I highly suggest picking this up, and I'll leave a link for it in the description box below if you want to pick that up. I really love how smooth the product is, how it layers over my foundations. I've tried this over almost every single foundation that I own without issues. It's very smoothing. It doesn't lift my foundation, doesn't create patchiness, very even, and overall, I have nothing bad to say about this. The next blush, powder blush that I have, I want to say I've talked about before on my channel, but maybe I haven't. And this is from CoverFX. This is their Monochromatic blush duo in the matte and shimmer, and I actually own this in 2 different shades. I have soft peach and warm honey. This is the warm honey shade, so it is a duo. You get the matte shade as well as the shimmer highlight or blush topper. Out of the 2, my most used shade is definitely the soft peach. You can see how much I've dipped into that, and then the shimmer I like to use as a highlight or even as an eyeshadow, depending. These are really pigmented, so I do recommend going lightly with your brush. They smooth over really beautifully, and no patchiness, doesn't lift my foundation, doesn't do anything weird, and I really love the color, the pigmentation on it. So I feel like even if you are deeper complected than I am, I'm a light to medium skin tone, the shade may still show up on you. I picked mine up at Ulta when Ulta used to carry CoverFX. I feel like they don't carry it anymore, or they're phasing it out, and they're also around $30 something, around $35. I'll put the price somewhere here on the screen, but definitely worth it. And if you can get them on sale like I did, I would say an even better deal on these. The third one in the high-end category, at least I classify this as high-end based on the price, is from Persona Cosmetics. Persona Cosmetics is a brand, I think they're based out of Southern California, if I'm not mistaken. It's a woman-owned and is available at Ulta as well. And this is their SuperBlush, specifically in the shade Georgia. I know they have a couple of other shades. One that's really popular, it's like a bubblegum pink shade that went viral on TikTok. But I really love this Georgia peach color. A little swatch here for you guys. There you can see it on my ring finger, how pigmented it is. Go ahead. So here it is right there. So you can see quite a difference compared to the LC. This one's much more of an orange shade. very pigmented. I did go a kind of hard in my swatch, but even with a brush, this one can get pretty pigmented depending on how much you're picking up. So go with the light hand as well. This one right here out of the three is probably the newest to my collection. But still, I've used this multiple times and highly recommend. Now, while we're in the category of high-end products, I do want to quickly make a plug for a bonus item. And this is a newer powder blush that I have fallen in love with and actually did a full-on review. And this is from Sigma. This is their powder blush, specifically in the shade Corda Rosa. Like I said, I did a whole video on this blush as well as the bronzer. So if you're interested in more details on this guy, go ahead and check out that video. But this is making its way up into my top 3, especially with the weather changes right now. I'm not leaning so much into the bright orangey peachy tones. I'm going more for mauvey rosy tones. So this one I think is going to be in the top 3 very soon. Let's talk about some drugstore blushes. And funny enough, when I was preparing for this video originally, some of the drugstore blushes that I had originally planned on including in today's video, I realized I actually hadn't used in over a year or 2. So keeping that in mind, number 1, they were probably expired, so I had to get rid of them. And number 2, if I hadn't dipped into them in that long, then they must not be my top. So I did a mini declutter, got rid of those, and kind of reevaluated. And that brought me to the products that I'm going to show you today. Now, the first one is from a brand named Alamar Cosmetics. And I've talked about them a couple of times on my channel here and there, if I'm not mistaken. And this is their Colorette blush trio in the shade Fair Light. And specifically in this palette, you get 3 shades, but looking at this palette, can you tell which one is my favorite? Yes, the one that I have hit pan on, it's the shade Paraíso. It's definitely my favorite. This trio, I believe, retails for $25. You can purchase this online at Alamar Cosmetics' website. However, and don't get mad at me for this, this formula and these shades are no longer available. They did reformulate their blushes as well as their bronzer trios, and when they did that, they changed the shades and changed the names. So I do own the newer packaging. Actually, let me pull that out real quick. I want to show you guys the newer packaging as well as the new shades, just so you get an idea. So this is the new packaging. So we've got the old and the new right here, and this is also the Fair Light. It's still called the Colorette Blush Trio, but on the inside, the shades are quite different. So you still get 3 shades, but these are the 3 that you get in the Fair Light Trio. To me, they look quite a bit lighter than the shades in the original Fair Light Trio, and you can see that middle shade is nowhere close to the middle shade in the original trio. If anything, this shade right here, Corazón de Melón, might be the closest, but this one seems to have a lot more shimmer in there. So unfortunately, my favorite is no longer available. I was able to score a backup for that original palette before they discontinued it, but I didn't want to recommend a blush to you guys that I hadn't vetted, so I decided to go ahead and share this even though it is no longer available. I know a lot of people got this blush palette in their BoxyCharm. They were featured in BoxyCharm several times, so if you have it, I do highly recommend it. The next blush is a super affordable one, and this one is from Essence. Specifically, this is the Mosaic blush. I have the shade 20 in All You Need Is Pink. And you get a mosaic of 3 shades in there to kind of mix and match. It's this really pretty pinky toned, soft pink blush shade. Here it is right here. And so you can see it's not super pigmented. I do feel like I have to build this a bit when I am applying it, depending on the look that I'm going for. So keep that in mind. If you are of a deeper complexion, I don't think this one would show up on you. So keep that in mind. You may have to go for a deeper color. And the third drugstore blush that is in my top 3 that also took me forever to try, and this is an OG holy grail blush product. I'm sure most of you guys have used it before. If not, you've likely heard of it. And this is from Milani. This is their Baked Blush in, you guessed it, the shade Luminoso. This blush has been all the rage forever, for years, and I actually had never tried it up until a couple months ago when I decided to pick it up. I did see a couple comments here and there in the past, I want to say past 6 months to a year, where they think the formula might have changed a little bit, but regardless, this is such a beautiful shade and a beautiful formula. Go ahead and do a swatch. So here is the swatch right here. You get that little bit of sheen, baked formula, like I said, and really gorgeous color, gorgeous formula, layers on beautifully, and you can find this at any drugstore. So those are my top powder blushes in both the high-end and drugstore category. Let me know what are your top favorite powder blushes in the comments below, specifically drugstore blushes. I'd really love to explore more in the drugstore blush category. I feel like I haven't tried very many drugstore blushes, to be honest. I'm trying to think. I know back in the day, NYX had this kind of ombre one that I used to love, which is no longer available. The e.l.f. one is actually pretty good. I haven't used it in forever though, and I hear really good things about the Maybelline blushes. So let me know your favorite drugstore powder blushes in the comments below. I'd really love to try a couple of those out, and then maybe we can do an updated video on the drugstore powder blushes alone. And that is all that I have for you guys today. So if you are new here, welcome. My name is Layla. Thank you for checking out my channel. Make sure to check out the other videos in this series, the top best of makeup products before you leave. That playlist should be coming up on the screen somewhere here shortly. And for all my returning viewers and subscribers, welcome back. Thank you so much for spending some time out of your day with me. I hope you're having a great day or night wherever you are, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.